What is going on, guys? Twitch is all gaming with my review of Strike the Blood episode 6, and this episode had a few bombshells that were dropped onto us. So at first I do want to, fix the mistake that I said last week where I said that Yukihina roommate that she became a hater now. Well, I was wrong about that because if Akatsuki that she hates now because apparently she thinks that he has taken away her friend, and so now she has like this huge grudge against Akatsuki, but she is so successful like Yukihina. So she definitely that yonder. I'm probably saying that wrong, but she's that crazy obsessed character, and she's so crazy about Yukihina. So apparently this Walter guy that had called them out there, he was the lover of the previous progenitor, and because Akatsuki consumed her, drank all of her blood, and her blood now is going through his veins, he wants to give him his love, and that right there was kind of creepy. But I did like though when he called out Yukihina saying that she was his rival in love, and Yukihina really didn't deny that she was in love with Akatsuki. So that right there was nice. I'm definitely glad that she didn't deny it, but rather she tried to play it off by moving on to something else. And so we actually learn about this group, which we call the Black Death Emperor Fraction, and they're like this big group of terrorists that are run by a guy named Christoph Gardos. And so apparently, Walter, he killed the last leader, which at first kind of confused me because I thought at first it was Christoph that was the leader that he killed. But apparently, Christoph became the leader after the one that Walter killed. And so, like, they have come to this island and search for something. And we learned what they're looking for is a weapon called Nalakuvera, and it looks like it's some giant armor spider, and apparently people that have been wanting to use this have no idea how. And one person that was going through these notes and deciphering it so it could be used, he had been locked away. So we have Asagi, and she just like she kind of like she's feeling a little bit down because she's like jealous of this bond between Akatsuki and Yukihina. And so Makoti, who I still don't trust by the way because this guy is just being so freaking sly, he is trying to convince her, to trap him in, to trap Akatsuki in this honey trap thing, whatever it's called. And she actually gets some kind of challenge where she has to decipher something, and she's the first one that finds the name of this weapon. So the next day when Akatsuki wakes up, we see that Asagi has came there, and she went on top of him, and of course Akatsuki being a pervert, he looked down at her chest, and that kind of got him worked up, and so it like put him in a bad spot. And then we see Yukihina get all jealous and storms off. And throughout the episode, we see that Yukihina is definitely a lot more human because she gets jealous pretty easily, and she kind of like holds a grudge a little bit. So it's like all these things are not looking good for Akatsuki right now, and we just see that girl, Yukihina's roommate, who class by the way is a war dancer. I find it to be pretty cool because she specializes in hex and assassination. So that right there was definitely pretty cool to know. And so I'm guessing that she has this bird who's familiar, and it was just spying on Akatsuki all day. And we also saw that attack maid, that Witch of the Void, and I'm so glad that that they're showing her. And apparently she has her own office that's on top of the school, and it's even above their principal. So it goes to show how much power and stature she has in this place. So that really was like really cool to know. And she does know about Walter, and she also know about Kristoff, but of course she's not telling Yukihina or Akatsuki anything because Yukihina wants to take them out so Akatsuki won't have to. Because Voltaire, if these guys make a move, Voltaire is willing to go as far as to seeking their entire island. And so they want to stop these guys before Voltaire has to go through such an extreme way of getting rid of them. Because it is crazy that he's that powerful, where he has that much power where he can sink an island with no problem. And he's a second generation vampire because he has to consume two elderly vampires. And so this guy is definitely a match for Akatsuki, especially at this point because so far he really only has control of one familiar that we have seen so far. So he does kind of need. Well, I'm hoping that he'll get control of the other ones that he has so we can see them. But apparently, Yukihina actually wanted him to drink her blood. So that, well, she thought that would help him. So she really wanted him to drink her blood because we see her blushing up at that. But of course, Akatsuki turns her down, which just upsets her. So now Akatsuki has gone to Asagi because she knows that she could definitely find out about this weapon. And so, after convincing her, we see Makodi. He pulls out these headphones, and I'm not sure if that right there was some power he has, or maybe with the animation, because to me it was kind of confusing. But we see that he was able to see where they were going, or at least it showed us where they were going, and some kind of it was some kind of effect. I'm not really sure how to describe it. But it was some kind of effect to show us where they were going. So they break into some room, or Asaki able to hack into this room, and they use this computer and definitely look up the weapon. But a teacher comes in, and they have to hide under the desk. But Asagi was so close that it made Akatsuki have this horrible nosebleed. And now that right there was definitely the worst one we assume it has so far. And then to make things worse, Yukihina's friend was actually watching them. And so now, after the teacher left and things calmed down, they had went to the roof because Asagi, was taking care of him to stop that nosebleed. But when she left, it's all hell broke loose because we see that girl coming down and trying to attack Akatsuki. Now, to me, it's weird. This girl was using a sword, and yet she's not a sword shaman. But we have Yukihina that is a sword shaman, and yet she's not used one. So it is kind of weird that it's like that. I mean, you're a sword shaman, and yet you don't use one. To me, that right there, the only little thing that kind of bugs me from time to time. But I'm not gonna lie, this girl was actually quite skilled with that sword, and she manages to actually cut Akatsuki, and we all know that when he takes a serious injury, his power was kind of go out of control. And to make things worse, now Asagi has come back and she's seeing this. So Akatsuki, is definitely in a pickle right now, and I can't wait to see what he's gonna do. And that ending where we saw the Black Death Emperor faction, they were in some van driving around, and we saw one guy looking at a picture of Asagi. So I'm pretty sure that right there means that her father, is part of that faction. So I definitely can't wait to see what kind of conflict that might bring up. But yeah, this episode, it was an eye opener. It was definitely good. We learned so much from this, and I definitely cannot wait till next week. But it seems that because of the aura that was coming out of Akatsuki, we might finally see a new familiar, and that right there I'm so excited for. But as always, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe because that really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.